Hey everyone, welcome back. Glad you could make it. Got a story for you today, something that flipped my world upside down. To get it, gotta take you back to the beginning. It all started with Sarah. Back in high school, we were just friends, cracking jokes in the back of class, typical teenage stuff. But graduation hit, and life scattered us. We went our own ways, chasing different dreams in the concrete jungle of New York. Then, years later, bam, out of the blue, Instagram notification. It's Sarah. She liked a throwback pic, me looking like a goofball at my cousin's wedding. I clicked on her profile, and next thing I knew, we were DMing like it was yesterday. Conversation just flowed, like no time had passed at all. We talked about everything: work hustle, crazy families, old classmates, even those ridiculous high school rumors we used to laugh about. It felt good, like a piece of me I'd forgotten was suddenly back. Those DMs turned into late night chats, and before we knew it, we were planning a meetup. Just a casual coffee, catch up in person. One coffee turned into walks in Central Park, then dinner dates downtown. Then suddenly we were inseparable. There was this crazy connection, like two puzzle pieces clicking perfectly into place. And one day, it just hit us. This was it. We were dating. Being with Sarah then, in the middle of the New York chaos, felt like the only thing making sense. She was my rock, the person I could spill anything to, the one who made the city lights shine a little brighter. Looking back now, I see how much I believed in us, how completely I was in. But man, I had no clue what was really brewing under the surface. For 3 years, things with Sarah were solid, or so I thought. We were in sync, most of the time. And honestly, I couldn't picture my life without her. We had history, sure, but when we reconnected, it was like destiny. We spent weekends exploring the city, weeknights in cozy Brooklyn bars, and I got tight with her crew, she with mine. Sarah wasn't some random girl. She was part of the fabric of my life, and I hers. We were a team, a New York power couple in the making, or so I believed. We had our own lives, our own grind, my financial job in the city, her freelance gigs, but we balanced it all. Looking back, it's almost comical how blind I was. When something feels that right, you just shut out the little whispers that something might be off. It never even crossed my mind that it could all shatter. Not then. My job at the finance firm wasn't Wall Street glamour, more like midtown grind. Entry level, but steady, with room to climb. I wasn't just punching a clock. I had a plan. Grind my way up, secure a better position, build a future where Sarah and I wouldn't have to sweat the rent every month. Promotions in that world are a battlefield, but I was determined. I'd get there. Sarah, on the other hand, was hustling, but things were less stable. Job to job, month to month, some good, some lean. I could feel she craved that security too. We talked about it, dreamed about it. We even made a pact. Once I landed that promotion, I'd pop the question. It wasn't just about the ring, the wedding Pinterest boards. It was about building a solid foundation before taking that leap. Made sense, right? But here's the kicker. Life doesn't always follow your perfectly laid plans. The promotion didn't come when I expected. Then it didn't come the next time either. Delays, roadblocks, always something pushing it further down the line, things totally out of my control. Through it all, I thought Sarah understood. I'd tell her, I know it's taking longer than we hoped, but I promise, I'm on it. She'd smile, tell me she believed in me, and we'd move on. I had zero reason to doubt her, but man, was I walking into a storm. One night, classic New York downpour, rain hammering against my windshield as I drove home from work. Streets slick, traffic crawl, my head pounding from the day. Just as I was pulling up to a familiar intersection in the village, my phone buzzes. Sarah. Her voice, casual, almost sweet, asking if I could swing by her friend's place, pick her up. Said I'd be driving right past anyway, no big deal. Didn't even think twice. Told her I'd be there in a few. I got there a little early, rain easing up to a drizzle. Instead of honking, calling, I thought, surprise her. Walked up to the brownstone, ready to knock. As I got closer, I heard voices, laughter spilling out the door. Sarah and her friends, always a lively bunch. But something about the vibe, the energy, made me hesitate. Just wanted to give them a sec before barging in. Then, through the thin walls, the conversation snapped into focus. One of the girls, playful but with an edge, asks Sarah, So, what happens to your rich guy when Jake finally proposes? The room went silent, like someone hit pause. Then Sarah's laughter, sharp and brittle, sliced through the air. Oh, I'll brutally dump Jake the second he puts a ring on it. The moment she said it, the room exploded again, laughter bouncing off the walls. I froze. Right there on the stoop, rain dripping off my jacket, my blood turning to ice. I didn't need to hear more. I didn't want to. Without knocking, without a word, I turned around, walked back to my car, and drove. Drove anywhere but there. Slammed the door to my Brooklyn apartment, the click echoing in the silence. The room was dark, but I didn't flip the light switch. Didn't need to see anything. My clothes were soaked, clinging to my skin, but I didn't bother changing. Just walked to the couch, sank into it, staring into the blackness. My mind unraveling, every moment with Sarah replaying, twisting. Every time she said, I love you, every shared laugh, every late night talk. Was it all fake? My thoughts slammed back to rich guy. Who was he? How long had he been in the picture? Was he some recent upgrade, or had he been lurking in the shadows the whole time? Was I just plan B, the safety net, kept around in case Mr. Moneybags didn't pan out? The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. Had I ever really been her first choice? Was that why the phone always went to airplane mode when we were together? I'd never questioned it. She'd always made it sound so romantic, wanting to be present, no distractions, just us. And I bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. But now it was blindingly obvious. It wasn't about me, it was about hiding him. I grabbed my phone, powered it down. No calls, no texts, no explanations needed, just silence. She never came over that night. Maybe she was pissed I didn't pick her up. Maybe she was still with her friends, laughing at me. Didn't matter. Woke up the next morning, mind already made up. No drama, no scenes, just done. Went through my usual routine, robot mode. Shower, dress, grab my keys, head out the door. Wasn't about to be the guy who curled up and cried over someone who'd been playing me like a fool. Work was the same grind. Emails, meetings, spreadsheets, stuff that usually stressed me out. But today, it was a welcome distraction. The hours ticked by, and every now and then my hand drifted towards my phone, muscle memory. But the screen stayed dark, empty. No calls, no texts from Sarah. Not even a, you okay, or a sarcastic, why didn't you pick me up? Nothing. She didn't seem to even notice I'd vanished. Honestly, I was good with that. Then, out of nowhere, my phone buzzed. Not Sarah, one of her friends, the one who'd been laughing right along with her that night. I answered, knowing this wasn't going to be pretty. Hello? Before I could even register her voice, she exploded. Why are you hurting Sarah for no reason? Straight to the attack, accusation flying. Like I was the villain in this twisted play. I took a breath, kept my voice steady, but I wasn't holding back anymore. No reason? I repeated, cold. How long have you known Sarah has another guy? Silence. Pure, dead silence on the other end. That silence screamed volumes. She knew. They all knew. They'd all watched me be the devoted boyfriend, treating Sarah like she was the sun and the moon, while they snickered behind my back because they knew the truth. My voice was ice. Controlled. You all act like you like me, but you knew. You knew she was cheating. You knew she planned to use me, and not one of you said a word. Nothing left to say. I hung up. No desire to hear her weak excuses. Set my phone down, exhaled. I wasn't dumb. Knew exactly what was coming next. That call ended, she'd sprint straight to Sarah. Sarah, the second she heard I knew, would panic. My phone would blow up any minute. But for now, I just sat there letting the weight of it all sink in. Sarah didn't waste a second. First call came within minutes of me hanging up on her friend. Then another, and another. Each buzz, I knew it was her. She wasn't even giving me a breather. One missed call stacking on top of the last. When she realized calls weren't working, the texts started flooding in, one after another, popping up so fast I barely had time to read them before another one replaced it. Jake, please let me explain. It's not what you think. I swear, the guy is just my ex. I don't have anything to do with him anymore. Now she was scrambling, throwing out anything, grasping at straws to get me to listen. But I didn't need to listen. I'd already heard everything that mattered. No confusion, no missing pieces of the puzzle that would change what she said, what it meant. Just sat there, phone buzzing like a hornet's nest in my hand, messages piling up. Wasn't about to let her sweet talk her way out of this. No response, no call back, didn't even block her. Wanted her to feel the weight of silence, the same cold silence she'd given me for who knows how long. Evening came, found myself back in my apartment, trying to unwind after the longest day ever. Barely kicked off my shoes, sank into the couch when the intercom buzzed. Cut through the quiet like a siren. First, just stared at it. Already knew who it was. Let it ring a few more seconds, debating whether to even answer. Curiosity, or maybe just morbid fascination, won out. Got up, pressed the button to check the feed, and there she was, Sarah. Grainy intercom screen, but the desperation on her face was crystal clear. Then her voice, frantic, trembling, crackled through the speaker. "Jake, please open the door. Let me talk to you." Banging on the door now, voice cracking mid-sentence, didn't say a word, just watched. She was crying now, wiping her face with her jacket sleeve, breath hitching between words. "Please, I swear, I'm not with him. It was just a joke. I love you." Voice raw, like she'd been crying for hours before she even got here. But nothing, none of it moved me. Pressed the button, spoke, voice calm, firm. "Go be with him, Sarah. I'm not proposing. I'm not marrying you." Silence. Long, painful pause. She just stood there staring at the intercom, like she hadn't even registered what I said. Then, a choked sob ripped through the speaker and she started begging all over again. Pleaded, swore on everything she could think of, Brooklyn Bridge, Statue of Liberty, anything. But I didn't budge. Years. I'd spent years loving her, trusting her, believing in us, and in one careless, cruel moment, she'd shattered it all. She stayed there for what felt like forever, alternating between knocking, crying, whispering my name into the intercom. But eventually, she must have realized I wasn't caving. Her voice grew weaker, knocks less frequent, until finally, silence. She was gone. Didn't watch her leave, didn't need to, just sat back down, listening to the silence she left behind. Never reached out to Sarah again. Nothing left to say. She'd made her choice, and I'd made mine. I pictured her having to face her family, explain why the guy they'd known for years, the one they probably saw as future son-in-law, had vanished. What could she even tell them? That she got caught laughing about how she planned to use me, toss me aside, that she had another guy on deck while I was busting my ass to build a life with her? No matter how she spun it, no version of that story painted her in a good light. But hey, not my problem anymore. She had to sit with her own mess. Actions have consequences, and for once, she couldn't talk or cry her way out of it. Won't lie, this whole thing messed me up for a while. You pour years into someone, thinking you're building something real, only to find out they were playing a different game the whole time. Tough pill to swallow, especially in a city that can feel so lonely even when you're surrounded by millions. But I've had time to process, to reflect, and I've come out of this with a few lessons. Lessons I hope someone out there can learn from without going through the same heartache. First, if you truly love someone, pay attention to how they act when they think you're not listening. It's easy to believe the sweet nothings when they're gazing into your eyes. Easy to get lost in the smiles, the I love yous. But when you're not around, when they think no one's watching, that's when the mask slips. That's when you see the real person underneath. If I hadn't accidentally overheard that conversation, I would have proposed to Sarah, completely blind to the betrayal brewing beneath the surface. I would have walked into that moment, heart open, thinking she was as committed as I was. But reality doesn't care about feelings. Truth always claws its way out. Second, loyalty and honesty are worth more than time invested. A relationship isn't valuable just because it's lasted years. 3 years with the wrong person won't magically transform them into the right one. It's not about the clock ticking, it's about the bedrock you're building on. And if that foundation is cracked with dishonesty, selfishness, hidden agendas, it's only a matter of time before it crumbles. I used to think our history with Sarah, our years together, meant something profound. But when loyalty and honesty are absent, time is just a number, means nothing. Finally, if someone doesn't appreciate your efforts, they don't deserve your commitment. I worked my tail off. Wasn't rolling in dough, but I was grinding, building a future for us. Had a plan, ambition, making sacrifices to give us a solid life in this crazy city. But none of that registered with Sarah. She wanted more, something shinier, and instead of being upfront, honest, she strung me along, played the part until a better option came along. But love isn't about waiting for something better to materialize. It's about standing shoulder to shoulder with the person you believe in, weathering the storms, growing together. If they can't see your worth now, they never will. So, if you're watching this and you're in a relationship, open your eyes, pay attention. Not just to the words whispered when you're close, but to the actions, the whispers behind your back. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where your love, your commitment are being taken for granted, walk away. Trust me, staying will only bleed you dry. Now, I want to hear from you. Did I handle it right? Was I too harsh? Should I have given Sarah a chance to explain? Or was walking away the only real option? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. So that's my story. Now it's your turn. Was I too quick to cut ties? Should I have given her a chance to talk? Honestly, I've replayed it all in my head a million times, but at the end of the day, I just can't see a future with someone who laughed about using me, who planned to dump me the second a better deal came along. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you know someone who's ignoring red flags in their own relationship, send this their way. Sometimes we get so tangled up in love, we miss the signs we're being played. It's easy to make excuses for someone who doesn't truly value us. But the truth, like I said, always finds a way out. Don't let yourself be someone's backup plan. You deserve way better than that.